This is Tom Barlow, head Jiu-jitsu coach at Masters Academy, Plymouth. Going to be assisted by Scott, one of my purple belts. I'm going to show you one of my favourite techniques called the Sucuri. It's a great transitional submission from the back, particularly when you're struggling to get a deep grip around the neck or anything like that. This came about through, I think it was done to me by Barlow. He kind of started setting up the position, and then I kind of played around with it a little bit more, and I started to get it from a lot of different positions to work from there. I also used this in competition recently at the Tough Invitational to submit ball bridges. The submission itself is a bit like, it's called a Sucuri because that's a boa constrictor, an anaconda in Brazilian, and what happens is it stops the person's ability to breathe. So when they breathe out, they can no longer breathe back in again, and it's a lot like a suffocation type thing. But even if that doesn't work, they're super tough or whatever, it gives you a lot of attacking options from there, and it will force them to open up to set up some different things off it. But let's look at the basic attack first. So I'm going to have taken Scott's back. Okay, I've got my regular kind of harness position. I'm trying to attack. He's defending very well, and I can't seem to get anywhere. So the attack's going to happen in a couple of stages. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to set my feet up over to one side. Okay, just like a regular body triangle. I don't need it to be tight. I just need it to be off over here. The second thing, the way that I really like to do this is by starting to secure a Kimura grip on his arm. From here I'll loop the head and I'll start to sit off towards the side. So he'll think that maybe I'm attacking for the arm bar. And what this tends to happen is it tends to get them to kind of crunch up a little bit because they're very worried about like this elbow. Okay. If he stays too open, it's going to be very easy for me here just to pass the leg over the head. So he'll kind of compact himself, start to bring his knees towards his head or knees towards his elbows, all this kind of stuff, yeah. And he'll be turning, trying to get his elbow back through. And this is exactly what I want. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lock up the body triangle around his waist. And I'm looking just kind of around the floating rib area. Okay, and this is tight, but again, they're still not particularly worried about this. Now from here, all I do is I release this grip and I underhook his leg. Now I release the other grip and I come around and I lock my hands together. If it depends on the size of the person, sometimes I have to go to this S grip, which is pretty weak and I'm not a big fan of that. What I've played around with is going to more kind of a power grip here. This works really, really well. Now, all I'm going to do to finish the lock is I keep this all tight, I pinch my knees, and then I start to drive, just like a triangle, in towards his body. Now, you might have to hold for a couple of seconds while he loses kind of like, or the air comes out of his body, but once it goes on, there's no way out of it. Okay, and it's not particularly hard for me to do this. Okay, so let's look at the basic attack again. I'll switch it off to the opposite side. So I'm here, I've got my over-under position. Okay, I'm struggling to attack his neck for whatever reason, I don't feel I can finish it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch, Kimura grip, feet go over to one sort of side here. Okay, now the next thing is I fall off to the side, put my shoulder on the ground. Okay, this gives me a good angle to start locking up the body triangle from here. Okay, now your partner, again, they're going to be thinking about defending this arm. If they don't, I can use my forearm against his head just to force him a little bit more into the right position. I can adjust, and then I start to lock up the body triangle. From here, I look to underhook the leg, here, then I lock my hands together. Either with this S grip if you're far, or if you can, get a gable grip, and then just pinch and squeeze. Okay. That's the basic start attack. We have a couple of other options. One of the most common things that people do is the way to get out of this is fairly simple. You just have to expand your chest. Okay, so use your back muscles to escape. Okay, that's difficult once the hands are locked together. Okay, but if they're in this grip or they're kind of not quite locked together, it can be a little bit easier. So what happens? We do exactly the same thing here. He's trying to defend. I lock up this grip, adjust my feet off to the side here. Okay, loop the head, fall onto my side, lock up the triangle. Okay, I start to come underneath his leg, lock this position. Now, when he goes to expand, lift his head out, here, all I do is I switch my grip to the collar. Okay, so I kind of let him out. I can turn this down. I've still got this leg grip straight away, and all I do is I switch to a bow and arrow choke. Okay, from there. Get on the other side. So I'm here, exactly the same setup. Controlling here, adjust my feet off to the side, loop his head, fall down. I start to try and go to the position, lock this up now. He expands his head away. I get the grip on the collar, rotate this a little bit, makes it easier on the grip. Then I open, fall, and finish it here. Okay. And these work very, very well together. Very, very well together. So, it's the basic, one of the basic attacks, basic setups for the Sucuri. Works very, very well, very effective. And you know, I've used it on many different levels of people, and it's always worked. Always allows me to transition to different stuff, even if I don't necessarily get the initial submission. This is Tom Barlow from Master Academy Plymouth. If you'd like to learn more about these techniques or about myself, please check out my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Thomas Barlow. And for more videos, please check out the Warrior Collective.